I don't fit the mold. What mold? Any mold, really? Oh my goodness, I'm Maxwell Garcia. Today I'm hitting you with another Apple TV Plus season review, and that's season 1 of The Morning Show. And The Morning Show is in the font that was stolen from The Boring Company. But I don't have any gripes with that, which I do, kind of. But anyways, The Morning Show surrounds literally like the whole entire behind the scenes, and the cameras go right home with the characters of a morning show. Think like Good Morning America, but with a different title, The Morning Show, dealing with the MeToo movement. And the MeToo movement is just bringing up like the secrets that women and men would have on their insides of past sexual harassment or abuse. And that's addressed in the show early in these episodes and carries out throughout the whole season, because the two hosts, or the two anchors, Mitch and Alex, played by these big names. Apple brought in these big name actors, and I think it paid off because it made me watch the morning show first. And oof, the acting was on point by Steve Carell as Mitch Kessler. Ooh, and Jennifer Aniston as Alex Levy. Those were the two anchors. And all of a sudden, news comes out, like in the first episode, in the first minutes of the first episode, that Mitch Kessler has been doing some Playboy things in the past, and they immediately fire him. And then the search is on for the new anchor. And of all of a sudden, out of this like coal mine protest, a little local TV reporter, played by Reese Witherspoon, gets to become the new anchor, and that takes place over like 5 episodes. Oh, it's wonderful to see. And like the director of the whole show is this guy named Corey, and Corey starts off as this like annoying character who's kind of too flamboyant and sarcastic in his own right. He kind of believes in himself a little bit too much in the beginning, and kind of believes in himself the whole way. But you just kind of like him a little bit, like every single episode, and you're like, I like this guy. And one of my favorite little dialogue pieces is when Corey talks about how a person goes from the minor leagues in baseball, like from the very low minor leagues, and builds himself up, and then he finally gets his chance to play in the big leagues. And he makes that comparison with like Reese Witherspoon going to the big leagues and now is an anchor. And then the one thing I didn't like is that there's just like African American character who's always like, I'm not the host because of my color. And it's like, we're dealing with like other issues here, like, and then we have this pretty honest guy, Chip, who's always like anxious, and he's like kind of like running all the topics of the show and all the camera angles, kind of like the manager of the show, and Chip's always panicky. And then we have this character called Hannah, which at the end of the show commits suicide. So out of the couple shows I've watched, the two characters that have committed suicide are both named Hannah. What a coincidence. And Hannah commits suicide because she did get sexually harassed by Mitch, but then Mitch never owns up to his mistakes. Like throughout the whole entire 10 episodes, he never owns his own mistakes of the past. He's like, oh no, she tried to take advantage of me for a position, when you, the audience, knows that's not true at all. And really an interesting coincidental thing at the finale of this first season, which was spectacular, and it's where like all the big names that were running this sexual harassment environment kind of got blew up right into their face, because for a while they're just trying to keep a lid on that secret jar, and then that jar just exploded with like the final 4 minutes. But it was kind of weird because like the headline that they were talking about on the morning show before like Alex just kind of went crazy with Bradley, they were talking about how there was like this mysterious illness on a cruise ship, and that all like 400 or 500 participants on that cruise ship now have to be quarantined, which is super odd because that's kind of the situation we're in now. Not just on a cruise ship, but like the whole world is put on isolation. So weird, that coincidence. And also, this morning show kind of dealt with like real life events. So it deals with like the 2018 or 2019 California fires. And one interesting fact there was like the owner of the morning show like would pay private firefighters extra so that those firefighters can protect his house from the fires, and then the fires would go to like other kind of poor economic housing, which is very interesting that I didn't really realize, and I wonder if that actually happened. But Bradley wanted to bring up that topic on the show, but it got declined because Bradley's always hunting for the honesty. She wants the truth in journalism and in that show. And for like the past 17 years of Mitch and Alex, they weren't getting that honesty. It was kind of becoming bland. And there's a whole deal with the ratings. So much just drama. This show is full of drama. The dialogue just going in the background with each character just one-on-one, and then you see them all playing out in together. It's like, oh, this person knows this or something. Oh. I really like the morning show. For season 2, I don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe they're gonna find out why Hannah did die of suicide, or we don't really know exactly why it was suicide. There was no note. Maybe someone killed her. I saw that was a theory, but this doesn't seem like a show that will go the murder or mystery route. It doesn't seem that way. The owner of the morning show still hasn't been fired yet, so that's probably gonna happen early in the next season. I'm not too sure what's gonna happen with Mitch, since Mitch hasn't really fully owned up to his mistakes. Like he knows his situation around him. Like he knows he's like purely human, and he really does like that dopamine of being that kind of simp with all the other women on the morning show. But like they were making it easy for him, and he was kind of like the superstar on top, and nothing could bring him down until he smashes that TV. Bah, bah, bah. I really do like the morning show because you battle with that relationship of Alex going against the management staff, and like Alex fighting for more power after like 17 years of her being on the staff. She wants a new contract. She wants to control the narrative. But she ended up doing so in a weird way because she gets Bradley to join the show as a host, and like the way that Alex announces Bradley is like, ooh, that's heat. So the morning show was good. It was good. It wasn't fantastic because I'm not a huge fan of how they took the MeToo movement and how there wasn't too much progress in like Mitch's character and how he was just honest with himself. But it was good, and I didn't really like that African American character because kind of just bland. But Corey and Chip, I really like those two guys in management because like it's just like fighting for power, and that's the show. Fighting for your position. I like it. Not the best, but definitely not the worst. And I'll watch season 2, without a doubt. Thank you for watching. Make sure you bless them. Peace out. The sun will shine. We've got to work. Hey, work this out. The battery's about to die, so we can't work this out.